Welcome to the SwimSwam podcast. I'm your host, Coleman Hodges. Joining me today, we've got a very special guest. She is just finishing up her first semester as a freshman at Wisconsin. We've got Phoebe Bacon.
Hi.
Phoebe, how's it going?
It's going good. I'm home for the holidays right now, which is nice.
Did you just finish up swimming with InCap?
Yes, I did.
Okay. How's holiday training with your old club team going?
It's a little different because of COVID right now, but my coach is still pounding on the yards, and we're still working hard.
Nice. So I want to get more into InCap in a little bit, but like I said, you just finished your first semester at Wisconsin. That included going to the U.S. Open in Des Moines, where you put up some pretty solid times. Let's start with that. How did you feel like U.S. Open went, and where were you heading into that meet?
Well, I would say heading into the meet, it was going to be the first racing opportunity that I would have since almost February of 2020. So one, it was just kind of exciting to get to go to a meet and finally have some real racing, put on a suit, and also being able to race Reagan just made it even better because I know we both kind of tend to swim well racing each other, and it was good to see each other. So it was just another meet, but a little bit more exciting. And I thought it went pretty well for it being the first meet back. It was a little different than a typical meet, as I would say just about anybody would probably say about that went to one of the U.S. Open sites. But I really enjoyed getting to race, and I had a good time.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know I went to the San Antonio location, and, they split the sessions between men and women. It was one heat behind the blocks. They would go, they would get out, they would walk away. Next heat would come up. I mean, what was your experience with having to abide by COVID precautions, and did that impact your mentality heading into the races at all?
I would say the biggest impact that COVID kind of had, at least that I felt, was the whole only having timed finals. I wasn't really given that. Nobody was given the opportunity to swim a prelims in the morning and then a finals at night. And I would say that was the only biggest effect because I tend to be, I feel, a nighttime swimmer, kind of like that final swim, having that second swim to fix whatever you felt you needed to work on from the morning. So going into the meet, I really had to change my perspective and be like, it's one swim. I have to get it done. I have to know what I'm doing, which was a little odd because last time I think I've been to a timed finals meet was when I was a really small age grouper. So It was a little different.
Yeah, I think it was funny talking to some people about just the whole timed finals thing. It's obviously a bit of a different format. I know, Canadian Olympic trials are now switching to timed finals, which, is kind of crazy. And that's the adaptations that have been made in this environment. And it's definitely different. So you hadn't raced before US Open properly in a meet since February.
Yeah, no real meet, little let's suit up, get up on the blocks kind of things, but nothing where you have your officials, your timers, touch pads in and everything.
Okay. So that's, yeah. I mean, congratulations on getting that under your belt. But so let's break it down. This all started in mid-March. I mean, take me through those first few months of quarantine and how you were able to react and adapt to all these big changes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, going into March, I was gearing up for, or not gearing up, getting ready for NCSAs down in Orlando, kind of like we always do. We got the call that it got shut down, and it was definitely a few days of panic as we kind of wound down to our last days of training at my regular training club pool, American University. And once we kind of got booted from there, it turned into, what pool can we get to next? Will we be at this pool for the next 2-3 months? How do I still stay in the mindset of training for Olympic trials without having, not unlimited, but having limited access to pools and all? Which ended up, I got not stuck. I'm grateful that I got stuck in a little, I think it was like a 15-yard indoor basement pool of it was a family friend's house that had it, and I was grateful to swim in there for, I want to say maybe a month or two. And from that 15-yard pool, we ended up having another friend that had, I think it was maybe an 18-yard pool that was outdoors.
Upgrade.
Yeah. And we brought like lane ropes into that one, like set up some flags, kind of all in his like backyard area. Then I was there for another month, few weeks or so, until finally some pools over in Virginia started to open up like a little bit more, with a lot of precautions, like one start at one end, one swimmer start at the other, like never coming into contact, the whole wear your mask, walking on deck, wear it behind the block. And so we finally got out to Virginia, started swimming at the Y in Tyson's. It's one of the NCAP sites. And it was just train, like even once like Olympic trials was like said to get like canceled or pushed back to the next year, it was still like, I got to keep my head in the game. I got to stay focused. It's not like this opportunity is gone. It's just another year away. And I've talked with like a few different people about it, and me being so young, I turned 18 just a few months ago. I have time. An extra year is not a bad thing. It's honestly, it could be a help in that sense. Then August came around and I was heading off to college, heading off to Wisconsin.
Yes. A lot of different pools. But so were you ever out of the water for an extended period at all?
I was thankfully not. I know many people were. I was very thankful to be able to set up immediately with that family friend that has the pool in their like basement. It was kind of like, as soon as we started hearing like, oh, this pool's about to close down, where can I get to next? And I had my coach reached out, I reached out, and it's kind of how the pool was. It allowed for us to gain access without going through their house, putting them at risk or them putting us at risk for getting COVID. So we could kind of come in. I was just able to swim, and then we were able to leave. So I think the longest time I was out of the water, technically, was only like 2 or 3 days.
That's pretty cool. I mean, especially given these situations. Tell me about swimming in this first 15-yard pool. Obviously, that's very different. I mean, what do you feel like you gained? What kind of work are you even able to do in a 15-yard pool?
I definitely got better at my turns. It's a pool. I got to swim. I was definitely not doing the same yardage and amount of swimming that I would have been doing in a regular pool and all, but I was staying in the water. I was just staying in shape. I'd go home. I'd still do my dry land workouts, just like out in the driveway. My dad always like joined in to do them with me. Um, and really it, it was just stay in shape, stay swimming, stay in shape. If it meant we suited up a few times in the little 15-meter pool, and it meant I did a 200 that was, God, how many laps? Like 12 laps. Like I did it.
Yeah.
It was just stay in shape and stay in the water.
How many strokes did you take per lap?
Probably about 2. It was like 1 here and then 1 for the flip turn.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
kind of pop up at the other end flags and flip turn.
And so like, did you, you mentioned your turns got better. Did you, did you, uh, like on purpose, would you shorten your underwaters so that you could get more swimming in, or was there a lot of technique work, or, what, tell me about what specifically you did in that pool.
We did a lot of like taking like the stretch cords. I think a lot of people kind of like saw this over the quarantine, like tying it up to a tree so you can like swim in place. So I spent a lot of time doing the like swimming in place and playing around with different paddles on my hands, a lot for backstroke, like watching where my catch was, filming it underwater. So there was a big technique component to the entire swimming in the shorter pool, because what else do you do? I can't jump in and go like 8,000 yards. So hopping on the stretch cord and then working tempo, throwing in a tempo trainer and just seeing, can I hold my 200 backstroke tempo? Can I hold it for 2 minutes, like 30 seconds off, 2 minutes on? A lot of technique stuff there. And then when it came to underwaters, my club coach, Tim Kelly, he would sometimes be like, push them, like go to the flags, go to the, basically kick underwater to the wall, take a breath, kick underwater to the next wall. And then sometimes he would be like, shorten it up, get a few extra strokes in. So it was just a mix, learning kind of what we could do and how much we could do.
Yeah. So it sounds like it was productive for sure, and you stayed in shape, learned some new things. Then you graduate to the 18-yard pool. Was that much of a difference at all?
It surprisingly was. It ran like as crazy as that sounds, that extra 2-3 yards, that's a full cycle of backstroke, or that's a full butterfly stroke. It still wasn't amazing, but we could do a little bit more swimming, and we also had some fun in that pool. Since it was outside, we could do like some running dives in it. Like it wasn't all just come to the pool, swim, get out, leave. My coach knew that I was showing up to this practice because I wanted to be there, and he understood kind of the fact, like, it does have to be fun. Swimming has to be fun. There's no other response. Like, it has to be fun if you want to be there. So he made sure to like add in all sorts of fun stuff. We still stuck with a lot of the, like on the cord, doing tempo focus and underwater stuff, like watching it, technique, but we were also able to get in a few more yards, which was nice.
Yeah, that sounds nice. And through this process, swimming in 15/18-yard pools, obviously it's a great opportunity, but you mentioned swimming has to be fun. Doesn't seem like always the funnest. If like you said, the mentality is still, I need to be training, I need to be in shape, I need to be getting better. Did you have, just emotionally or mentally, did you have up and down periods during the time when you were in those, not ideal pools?
I I would definitely say yeah, I did. It got really hard to be like Olympic trials just got pushed back a year. Why do I need to come to the pool right now? Or why do I need to swim in this 15-yard pool that's 84 degrees? What is this doing to me? There's no point. And like there was periods of that throughout the entire quarantine part, and it's still, and I think my coach could tell like when I was kind of just getting bothered, and I was just like, oh, I'm here again, like another practice in this little pool. And he was able to like tell those things, and I just had to like kind of keep my mind to it, even though all I wanted to do was like, I want to break, I want to break, I want to break.
Mm.
I just had to like stay focused and be like, I'm doing this for a reason. My coach has a plan. I need to follow him. He knows what he's doing. And how can I come to practice and have more fun? What can I do on my side that's going to bring me more joy in showing up to these practices to keep me here?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, were you doing these practices solo, or did you have teammates joining you also?
I was thankful. I had my little brother as one of them. He's 13, 14. So he was able to come with me to all the practices, and then, or most of them. And then my Tim Kelly's son, Jordan, who's I think he's 2 or 3 years younger than me. He was showing up to the practices as well. But it was kind of like us three just pushing away and working hard, working hard, and working with what we had.
Yeah. I mean, that kudos to you. That's mentally, that sounds like a difficult situation. Obviously, a global pandemic is a difficult situation, but yeah, I mean, swimming in a 15-yard pool every day with no break, it doesn't sound easy, but it
No.
seems like you got a lot from it. Um, and so then once you graduated from the 18-yard pool, what kind of work were you guys putting in then?
We kind of went back to where would we be at this time in the summer, and just started training and training. And my coach and the coach of the silver group, which is like the slightly younger kids under us, they laid out a plan, and they were like, we're going to train this week to this week to this week. We'll bring it down, and we'll have our fake end of the summer or end of the year swim meet, to kind of give everybody that was showing up and taking the time to show up a trajectory, like somewhere to focus on, so it wasn't just swimming aimlessly.
Yeah.
And that it worked out great. Like starting to bring back, I think we were swimming with like 12 in total. It was a 6-lane pool. We'd have like 6 at this end, 6 at this end. And that totally changed everything. I had people on both sides of me that I could be like, that I could cheer on, and then they could cheer on me. And we were getting right back into doing hard practices, hard workouts. We were able to start dry lands, like very spread out, and not doing like you had to bring your own med ball, bring your own mat kind of thing. But it was great. It was better, is everything better than the 18 and 15-yard.
Yeah, and how did the end of the season meet go? What would you swim?
Oh gosh, what did I swim? I think I swam a 200 back, and when 151, maybe something right around there. I don't really remember what else I swam though. I have it written down somewhere, but for me it was just like, let me get up and race. It was more just like a fun opportunity to close out the summer with just something fun.
Yeah. Did it, I mean, I know you just said it was fun, but did you, come away from that meet thinking, okay, these are some things I can work on heading into the fall?
For sure. It was not only fun, but yeah, big learning opportunity because I was able to see that even though my training got flipped upside down due to the pandemic, I was still able to put up some fast times in the end. And it helped me kind of see like what I was doing and why I was training that whole time. And then it also showed me it was like, oh, this is perfect. I know exactly what I need to work on going to Wisconsin and going into the whole new environment there.
Yeah, which perfect segue. So you show up to Wisconsin. I think freshman year for a lot of people is a big transition year. It's your first time being away from home, new coach, new team. Under these conditions, I mean, just tell me about how that transition has been so far for you.
It was a little scary, not gonna lie. It was a little scary. Little bit of risk kind of now going into what is hopefully going to be the Olympic year, changing coaches, changing environments, um, changing kind of like living habits as well, being in a dorm. And so I was nervous, but I it took probably up until October. By the beginning of October, we had really started bringing up the training. We were in the brand new pool that Wisconsin has, just incredible. It's so nice, so much better than anything I could imagine.
It's
Um,
better than the 15 yarder.
oh
Really?
yeah, it just out touches it. So I was nervous, but by when October started to come around, I was like I'm here, and all the whole coaching staff, like they know what they're doing, and not only do they want to get the team to Big Tens, NCs, and all the above, like they want each swimmer to succeed as well. And it took me a minute or so to really learn that. Coming from a club where I was racing mostly boys. We had one or two girls in the group, and I was the eldest at that on my club team, or this past year I was, and going to this college team with multiple coaches coaching me instead of just one person, and having guys over here that I'm racing, a guy maybe behind me in the lane, and girls here, and just switching it up every day, kind of having a different group, a different coach. And it was a huge transition, but I'm really happy that I made it.
Yeah, I mean that seems like it would overall be beneficial, but like you said, be a pretty big shift in those first, in August, September, those first couple months before you finally started to really settle in. What do you feel like the biggest things you had to adapt to were?
Um, I would honestly say the biggest thing for me was just the whole living in a dorm and then eating dorm food. I take a lot of time to look at like my nutrition. I pay a lot of attention to it. Like each day I make sure like I know what I'm eating. I don't eat much junk food, if any at all. I'm not a big sweet tooth kind of person. So going into the uh, dorm dining hall and kind of seeing the options, it was a little bit of a whoa, what am I supposed to eat kind of thing. But after kind of like talking with somebody and figuring some things out, I've been able to kind of do a lot of food wise meals. Like breakfast I can easily do in my dorm, if it's oatmeal, if it's toast, or like I can get breakfast done. And I'm thankful that Wisconsin provides lunch for us. like or a better lunch than what the dorm would provide, because hamburgers and hot dogs aren't the best fuel for me. um, and then dinners, I just have to pick out what I feel I need and just kind of figure it out as each day comes into the dining hall, or if it happened, I have to eat out and order some type of salad or um, honestly, Chipotle has been a big savior of mine, even though it is a fast food. It's not the best thing for you, but you can make it better with picking the like certain options to put on top and all. But that's been probably the biggest challenge for me.
That's it's really interesting. I think dorm food period is a big change for a lot of people one way or the other. Some people love it. And for some, and some people like you, that's you pay a lot of attention to your nutrition, which as a swimmer, I think that kind of comes with the territory, or it does for a lot of people. When did that become a big priority for you?
The nutrition focus started for me, I want to say maybe end of my sophomore year of high school, right around then, or maybe middle of sophomore year. It was kind of the time where I started to notice that swimming is really becoming serious, and I do need to pay attention to what I eat, because coming home from a 3.5 hour long swim practice and going straight to a tub of ice cream and cookies is not the best fuel for my body, kind of thing. And so it started right around there, and it was just kind of like, let me watch what I eat, let me cut back a little bit on sweets, like just some general things. And then as I went into my senior year, gearing up for 2020, it was really, am I getting everything that I need from the meals that I'm eating? I don't want to be having basically empty calories. I want to make sure that everything that I eat is helping me for something. Am I fueling correctly before and after practices? And then during practices, if it means I have a bar next to my mesh bag and water bottle for the middle of a practice, like I need that. And it kind of comes with, if you ask most elite level swimmers that there are, they'll probably tell you the same thing. Like nutrition's important. It's almost half of what swimming is. Can you fuel correctly for what you're doing in the pool? So yeah. It's a given.
That's couldn't agree more. Nutrition is key. It's important. This is just purely curiosity. Do you have a favorite snack? You talked about your meals and trying to get good breakfast, good lunch, good dinner. But those in between, I feel like are some of the most important, those quick fuels or those little snacks. Do you have a favorite snack foods right now?
Favorite snack food? I've been dairy free for a little while. But right now, one of my favorite like go-to snacks is just a dairy free yogurt and then like some almond butter in it. And you can do it with regular yogurt too, but that's just like, I don't know what it is. It tastes like it's like ice cream to me. It's like dessert, and it's a perfect, great grab and go snack as well. And that's my go-to right now.
That I've eaten that before, and I can confirm or agree with you. It tastes like ice cream. I don't know what happens, but when you mix, and you like, for almond butter, it's pretty thick, and yogurt, you don't think they're gonna mix well, or at least I don't. But then they do. It tastes like ice cream.
Perfect.
It's perfect.
It's just like, oh, dessert in the morning.
That's a great option. So nutrition is key. For those of you listening out there, Phoebe Bacon knows it. Now you do too. So let's switch to the training. Obviously the environment is a lot different. Like you said, you have a lot of coaches, you have a lot more teammates to train with. What is the training itself like? Is that a big change for you, or is that pretty similar? I mean, I know Yuri used to coach at INCAP.
Uh,
And there's that connection, obviously. So, do you feel pretty comfortable with just the training style of the coaches?
once again, it was a change. Not like it's good. It was a change, but at the same time, it's swimming. And I'm definitely doing a lot more practices. I came from doing one double a week with NCAP to now doubling 3 times a week. And it doesn't mean every single one of those practices is like go in and die. Like we take the time to focus on the skill side of swimming and all. I would say there's a big focus, at least at Wisconsin in general, on underwaters and kicking, which I did train a lot of back at NCAP, but it's taken to a whole nother level here, like throwing on socks or throwing on a parachute, which I'm not really used to, and doing underwaters with that, and me basically drowning halfway through the swim. There's that big focus, but it's swimming still. We're doing definitely more yards than I'm used to. But I would say I've already gotten used to it, and I'm a little nervous for when we go back to campus and we have a few weeks of no school and just swimming. But hopefully I won't die too much, but it'll be exciting.
Yeah. So at INCAP, during your high school years, did you guys have a big Christmas training?
We did. It was I think like a week long of some tough practices, a lot of doubling, a lot of waking up early, going to practice, coming home, sleeping, going to your next practice. But there was also a lot of enjoyable, fun practices thrown in that mix as well. And I've always really loved Christmas training. Like every year, I know it's going to be honestly probably some of the hardest few weeks that there are in swimming, but I also know that it's fun. It makes you better, and like there's no question about that. Like you're going to get better if you're there to train hard, work hard during those few weeks of Christmas training.
Yeah. Is there a set that stands out to you that you've done over Christmas, any Christmas training, or, you mentioned there were fun days. Was there a particularly fun set that you remember?
I know there's a fun set I remember. It's we would do it with one of my old coaches. He's not with a club anymore, but he was awesome. Ian Rowe. Every Christmas year we do this thing called alphabet soup, and you basically pick a letter and the letter corresponds with some mini set or mini event, and it could range anywhere from you pick the letter B and you're swimming a 300 butterfly with your lane, or you pick like the letter D and you get to give a 200 butterfly to like another lane of swimmers. That's always been my favorite, but that's when I was like 13 and 14. I would say as a 15 to 18-year-old, the sets have always changed. They've always been tough, but they've always changed, and nothing stands out really.
Fair enough. The alphabet soup sounds super fun. I think maybe, I don't know, maybe you should make a plea to Yuri to bring it back.
Oh, I will try. You have no idea. I will be begging for some fun practice.
Alphabet soup.
Can we please?
That's awesome. That sounds like a cool set though. All right. So heading into, obviously you've got Christmas training soon. It seems like you're adjusting to Wisconsin well. You're in a good place. Heading into these next few months, what are you thinking about? What's your focus in the pool? Obviously, hopefully conference in C's happens. We've got trials on the horizon. But kind of January, February, what are you looking forward to?
I'm kind of looking forward to some more racing opportunities. Hopefully, it sounds like the Big Ten is gearing up to be able to have some type of season for us. So hopefully we'll get it's I don't really know the specifics, but hopefully we'll get a few dual meets and then Big Tens and hopefully NCs. And that's probably what I'm looking forward to most, just because it's my first year at college. Like, it's my first technical college season, and I want to be a part of that. I already feel like such a part of the team at practices. I want to be a part of the team at meets. I really want to be cheering the team on and getting loud on the side of the pool, just like screaming my head off, cheering them on and all. Like, I want that part that I'm missing.
Makes sense. I think we all want that part. I think we're all missing cheering for swimming and having racing. Period. Obviously, having ISL and US Open was great, but we want it back.
Oh yeah, I cannot wait.
Fingers crossed. But Phoebe, I appreciate you taking the time to sit down and talk with me. Any parting thoughts before we sign off today?
Good luck to everybody in their Christmas training. We all need it.
You've been listening to the SwimSwam podcast. Stay tuned for new episodes every week. You can take SwimSwam podcast on the go by subscribing on your favorite podcast platform. Look for links in the description below, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos as well.